ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम। We are now studying the commentary of Bhagavad Pada Shankaracharya on the fourth sutra of the Brahma Sutras. Very important four sutras, first four sutras also called Chatusutri. Of that, the fourth sutra is important because here Shankaracharya, Bhagavad Pada Shankaracharya, he tries to harmonize differing opinions. He tries to harmonize in the sense to find out the true conclusion or the logical, plausible conclusion among various viewpoints. That's why it's called Samanvaya. Samanvaya. This sutra is in an Adhikarana which is called Samanvaya Adhikarana, and the sutra itself we know Tattu Samanvayat. So here it is called Samanvaya because all the passages or all the statements of the Upanishads, they are in concordance or in harmony with the fact that what is realized is knowledge of Brahman, or the identity of the knowledge of Atman or Brahman. Identity or the knowledge of Atman and Brahman being identical. So that's why it is called Samanvaya. And here Brahman is the Lakshya or Uddeshya. Brahman is the purpose or the meaning of all the Upanishadic statements. They are not talking about any action to be done, any Vedic ritual. They are also not talking about any kind of contemplation to be done, but they are talking about only Brahman as the goal. That is what is told here. So here Shankaracharya establishes how moksha is not the fruit of karma. Moksha is not the fruit of karma. It cannot be. It cannot be. So he says, Yasya tu utpadyo moksha tasya manasam vachikam kayikam va karyam apekshate iti yuktam. Yuktam, it is only logical or rational, that yasya tu means indeed, certainly, for whom yasya utpadyo moksha, for whom moksha or liberation is utpadya, is something which is produced. So for a person for whom moksha is something that is produced, utpadya means a product, something that is produced. So for a person whom moksha, or moksha means the cessation of the repeated cycle of birth and death, for one whom this is a product, means it is an effect. It's an effect from something else. Tasya, for that person, manasam vachikam kayikam va karyam apekshate. Or if we say that, if we were to say that moksha is something which is produced, then it is yuktam, it is only rational or logical, that manasam vachikam kayikam va karyam apekshate. There is an apeksha, there is a need, or it is desired, or it is wanted. What is wanted? Manasam vachikam kayikam va karyam. Karyam, that is some kind of a action which has to be done. What action? Manasam. Either it can be mental action. You think, and so the thought is a mental action. Vachikam, telling something, verbal action. and kayikam, physical action. So some kind of action has to be done. Either it is mental or at the thought level, or it is physical, kayika, or it is verbal. Va means or. So either of these three kinds of actions have to be performed. So apekshate, it is expected. It is expected. Because without performing something, without doing anything, how can you produce something? So if you have to produce something, then there has to be raw materials. And also there has to be this process of production. And this process of production is exactly what is talked of here. How would you produce something if there is no process of production? So there has to be some process of production. So that apekshate iti yuktam. That is expected. It is expected. It is what is said. Tatha vikaryatvecha. So not only in the case of utpadya, not only in the case of something that is produced, but also in the case of something which is modified. Something that is modified. Vikarya. So utpadya and vikarya. So something which is produced and also something which is modified. Modified also, one has to do modification. So suppose something is modified, then that thing that is modified has to undergo the process of modification. If it has to undergo the process of modification, then automatically what happens? Somebody has to do that modification. So it is clear that in both cases, tayoho pakshayoho, in both the circumstances, tayoho pakshayoho, in the cases or both the standpoints, mokshasya dhruvam anityatvam. Dhruvam, certainly, mokshasya anityatvam. So moksha becomes unreal, anitya, temporary, impermanent, which is basically absurd. How can moksha become impermanent? So we seek moksha to go beyond the impermanent. But how can moksha itself become impermanent? That's absurd. So that's what is told here. Mokshasya dhruvam anityatvam. Tayo pakshayoho mokshasya dhruvam anityatvam. In both the circumstances, it is dhruvam. It is certain that moksha will become unreal. Why would that happen? Because if anything is produced or modified, then that is unreal. That is the logic. Anything that is produced in the Bhagavad Gita also, Sri Krishna says, Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityuhu. That which is born, it is certain that it will have death, it will die. So that which is produced is impermanent. That which is modified again is impermanent. So that is why here also, if we were to accept that Brahman or moksha, not Brahman, moksha, that is the knowledge of Brahman, is produced, is the result of something else, it is caused by something else, either as production or modification, then in both the cases, it would be certain that then moksha would become temporary. It will become impermanent, which will be ridiculous. So that cannot be accepted. That is the idea. So how do we come to this conclusion? Because we see this. How do we see this? Nahi dadhyadi vikaryam utpadyam va ghatadi nityam drishtam loke. Loke, in the world, in our daily experience. One thing we have to accept about great acharyas, let it be Bhagavad Pada Shankaracharya or let it be Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Their examples are from daily life and examples which we can immediately relate to or relate with. So here he says, Nahi dadhyadi vikaryam nityam drishtam loke. In this world or in our daily experience, we don't see nahi, we don't nityam drishtam, we don't see them to be permanent. What do we don't see to be permanent? Dadhyadi vikaryam, of things, modification, vikaryam, modification of things like adi, like or beginning with dadhi. Dadhi means curd. So you put some curd, mix some curd with milk, and the next morning you find it to become curd. So this modification which has happened, that we don't see to be permanent, because if you keep the curd like that, it gets spoiled. That modification, the curd loses its character, loses its property, its swabhava. So similarly, utpadyam va ghatadi, production of things like pot, as I have told earlier also, in the Indian philosophical texts, particularly Samskrita texts, philosophers are obsessed with pot, cloth, and one person called Devadatta. So there was no Mr. X those days. So they Devadatta. Anything means they will immediately say Devadatta. So here also we have Ghata. Ghata means pot. So pot which has been utpadyam, which has been produced. Nityam nahi drishtam loke. It has not been seen to be permanent in our daily experience. It has not been seen to be permanent in our daily experience. So that means whatever is modified is not permanent. Whatever is produced is also not permanent. Nacha apyatvena api karya apeksha. Also, further, apyatvena api na karya apeksha. Even if we were to consider moksha to be something, or knowledge of Brahman to be something that has to be attained, apyatva, that has to be attained. If we were to consider the knowledge of Brahman or moksha to be something which has to be attained, even then there is no karya apeksha. There is no need for any action. There is no need for any action. Swa atma rupatve sati ana apyatvat. Because of sati, sati means of it being so. So because of it being of the rupa, or of the form of, or the nature of swa atma. So because of its being of the nature of swa atma, one's own nature, it is one's true nature or one's own nature. Anapyatvat, one does not need to attain it. It is one's own nature. So how will you attain? This question people don't understand. Most people ask this question, that, oh, if we say knowledge of Brahman has to be attained, then will it not become like knowledge we attain? So we cannot say knowledge of Brahman has to be attained. Like that, they engage in playing of words, verbal play. So that is not what is meant here. Clear examples are given by acharyas. One acharya says, suppose there is a necklace. Necklace means that which is closely woven or closely held around the neck. Okay, so it's not like a chain. So you have a necklace, somebody is wearing a necklace. In those days, it seems men, women both used to have such ornaments. So necklace somebody is wearing, and that person has forgotten that that person is wearing the necklace, and continues to search everywhere in the house. Where is my necklace gone? Where has my necklace gone? And somebody comes and says, oh, it is there on your neck. So that is the idea. It is just forgetting. So it is not that you bring out something which was not there to begin with, or it is not that you produce something or you modify something, or it is not that you get a knowledge of something which you did not know earlier. It is just something which is reminded of. You forgot something, you forgot your true nature, it is reminded of. There's this beautiful story we all have heard of a lion, a cub, going and getting caught in a herd of sheep, and then how another lion goes to hunt and finds this cub of lion, how that cub is also bleating like a sheep, and then he's saying, oh, you are not a sheep, you are a lion. So there is a story like that. So there also what has happened is the lion has forgotten its true nature of being lion, and it has started behaving or living like a sheep. So that is what is here. So here, apyatvena api na karya apeksha. Even if it were to be considered that it is something which has to be attained, the knowledge of Brahman or moksha has to be attained, even if it is to be considered like that, it does not need any karya, any action. Swa atma rupatve sati anapyatvat. Because of it being of one's own nature, swa, one's own nature, it is anapyatvat. It cannot be attained. It cannot be attained because already you are that. Swarupa vyatiriktve api brahmana na apyatvam. Okay, for argument's sake, let us say that Brahman is not your nature. Argument's sake, let us say Brahman is not your nature. Swarupa vyatiriktve api. So even if it is different from your nature, Swarupa vyatiriktve api. Vyatiriktve api. Even if it is different from your nature, Brahmanaha na apyatvam. Brahman cannot be something which has to be attained. Swarupa vyatiriktve api. Brahmanaha na apyatvam. Apyatvam, that something which has to be attained. It's state of something which has to be attained. It cannot be. Brahman cannot be like that. Even if you think that it is not your true nature. Why? Because what is Brahman? Sarvagatattvena. It is sarvagata. It is all pervading. It is all pervading. There is no place where Brahman is not there. Nitya apta rupatvat. So it is attained by every place. Nitya apta rupa means it is ever attained. Why? Because it is everywhere. It is omnipresent. It is sarvavyapi. It is omnipresent. It is everywhere. So it cannot be not attained. It is not possible to not attain Brahman. Sarvena Brahmanaha nitya apta rupatvat. By everyone, Brahman is constantly attained. Because Brahman is everywhere. Example is Akashasyeva. Just like space, Akasha. So if you were to say that, oh, I want to go to space, that means outer space. We can understand now this Elon Musk and so many people are doing this. So we can say, okay, I also want to go to outer space. That some Branson also went and all these people are going. So I also have millions of dollars. I don't know how to spend. I want to go to outer space. But if you were to say space as in space, not outer space, but just space I want to attain, then people will seriously doubt your sanity of mind. Because you are already there in some space. How can you attain some space? That means, what does it mean? It means nothing. It means nothing. So, sarvagatattvena nityatma rupatvat. Sarvena brahmanaha nityatma rupatvat. Sarvagatattvena. Because of it being omnipresent. What is omnipresent? Brahman is omnipresent. Because of Brahman being omnipresent, it is Nitya Atma Rupatvat. Nitya Apta Rupatvat. It is always attained. By whom? Sarvena. Sarvena. It is always attained by everyone. So if you are present in some space. You are present in some location. Similarly, if you are present, Brahman is also. You have already attained Brahman. The problem here is not with. So here, why this has been given is, there are two aspects of our attaining the knowledge of Brahman. One is the objective aspect. Another one is the subjective aspect. You see what Shankaracharya does here. We have to analyze that. He is tackling both the aspects. So if you take the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, traditionally it is said, Tatpada Shodhanam. Shodhanam means analysis or research into the word Tat. Then Tvampada Shodhanam, analysis or research into the word tvam or you. So tat is that and tvam is you. You analyze both and find out their true meaning and then realize that both mean the same thing or same entity. Here also Shankaracharya is giving us that kind of an analysis. He says, you see, if you see yourself, aham brahmasmi. So here two things are there. One is aham, I. Another one is Brahman. I becomes the subjective aspect. Brahman to begin with becomes the objective aspect. Essentially, it is also subjective. But when a person is in the realm of ignorance, at the level of ignorance, for that person, it is like something which has to be attained. So in the manner of speaking, it is something which is objective. Now here you consider I, aham. Then what do you say? That I am non-different from Brahman. I am non-different from Brahman, and that I have to understand that I am non-different from Brahman. The whole exercise of Vedanta is this, to understand that you are not different from that you want to attain. But that you have to understand. Just like a person who thinks that one has lost one's necklace, has not lost it, is only wearing on one's neck. Similarly, we have to understand that we have not become different from Brahman. We have always non-different or identical with Brahman. So that is how here it is told that apyatvena api nacha karya apeksha vai swa atma rupatve sati anapyatvat. Because of one being, it being one's nature, there is no need to attain that. No need to attain that. Then comes Swarupa Vyatiriktatve api Brahmanaha na apyatvam. Now comes the Brahman aspect. Okay, my aham aspect is, or I aspect is, that I am not different from Brahman. So I have not to attain Brahman, because to begin with, I am not different from it. Brahman aspect is, how will you attain something which is omnipresent? So Brahman is omnipresent, it is present everywhere. It is attained every time by everybody. It is attained all the time by everyone, just like space. Further, Shankaracharya says, na api samskaryo moksha. Also, moksha is not something which has to be na api samskarya. That is, it is not something which has to be done through samskara, an act of purification. So moksha is not something which is attained through some purification. Why? Yena vyaparam apeksheta. Yena vyaparam. So if we consider, if we hold, if we think, or if we accept that moksha is something which has to be attained after an act of purification, then for that something would have to be done. Some vyapara, some action would have to be done, and that action would be needed. Suppose you purify something, you purify, say you purify some air, you purify air, or you purify, say, your hands. Nowadays sanitization. So sanitizer you use and you purify your hands. So for that you have to use the sanitizer and purify your hands. That action has to be done. The action of purification has to be done. Or some places they use mantra to purify. Something has become very defiled, so we purify chanting some mantra, probably sprinkling some water, etc. So that action of purification has to be done. So apeksheta, that vyaparam, the action, would be expected for samskara, for purification. For purification, one action would be needed or expected. And so samskaro hi nama samskaryasya guna adhanena vasyat dosha apanayena va. So how does this samskaro hi nama, now some purification is defined. What is purification, or what is the act of purification? In English, purification, act of purification. What is it? What does it mean? Samskaro hi nama, indeed he. So as I have told many times, somehow we Indians like to use these words, he, tu. So in our commentaries also we will see now and then tu, he, because that certainty, it is like that, like that. They are emphasizing, it is like that. I'm telling you. So in English we say, I'm telling you, no, it is like that. So that kind of emphasis. So samskaro hi means indeed nama. What is samskara? What is samskara? What would be called samskara or purification, the act of purification? That is samskarasya guna adhanena vasyat. So it happens by samskariya. Samskariya means that which is purified. Samskaryasya guna adhanena. Adhanena, increasing or adding. So by adding to the good qualities or the better qualities of that which is being purified. So we add to their qualities. Whatever is being purified, the qualities are added. Either because of that it is called purification, or va. Va means or. Dosha apanayena va. Apanayanena va. Dosha apanayanena va. Apanaya means to remove. So dosha apanayanena va. By the either by this or by removing the defects of that which is purified. So when we say purification, we imply two things. Either we add to the quality of whatever is being purified, or we remove the defects of whatever is being purified. So guna adhanena va, dosha apanayanena va. Na tavat guna adhanena sambhavati. However, here we said that Brahman or moksha cannot be attained through purification. Why? Or an act of purification. Why? Na tavat. Just like in the cases of other acts of purification, where we remove defects or we add to qualities, here there is no possibility to add to qualities. Guna adhanena na sambhavati. This purification cannot happen by adding qualities. Why? Anadheya atishaya brahma swarupatvat mokshasya. Because mokshasya swarupatvat, brahma swarupatvat, because of moksha being of the nature of Brahman. What is moksha? Moksha means attaining the knowledge of Brahman, or attaining the knowledge of one being identical with Brahman. That is moksha. So moksha, if you have to attain it through a purification, act of purification, that means you will have to add something better to Brahman. So how can you add something better to Brahman? Because it is anadheya. Anadheya atishaya. It is atishaya. It is so much excellent, or it is so perfect. It is so pristine, perfect, that nothing can be added onto that. Anadheya. You cannot make it more excellent. So that is Brahman, and that is the nature of moksha. So moksha is of the nature of Brahman, which cannot be increased in quality. There is no quality control or quality increase possible with Brahman, because it is of the highest quality. Also, on the same grounds, na api dosha apanayanena. Also, you cannot attain moksha by dosha apanayanena of moksha, by removing the defects of moksha or defects of Brahman. Why? Because Nitya Shuddha Brahma Swarupatvat Mokshasya. Moksha is of the form of, because of moksha being of the form of Nitya Shuddha Brahma Swarupa. Moksha is of the form of Nitya Shuddha Brahma Swarupa. It is of the form of eternal. It is eternal, and it is Shuddha. It is pure, or it is eternally pure. It is absolutely pure. So you cannot remove any defects because there is no defect. It is eternally pure. And because of it being eternally pure, you cannot remove any defect because there is no defect. And so an act of purification cannot bring about moksha. An act of purification cannot bring about the knowledge of Brahman. Swatma dharma eva san tirobhuto moksha kriyaya atmani samskriyamane abhivyajyate yatha आदर्शे निघर्षण क्रियया संस्क्रियमाणे भास्वरत्वम धर्म इति चेत न. So here one objection or an argument is there, which is posited by Shankaracharya himself, of course. So one says that, okay, swatma dharma eva san. Indeed, eva, indeed, swatma dharma eva. It is indeed one's own nature. What is one's own nature? Moksha is one's own nature, or Brahman is one's own nature. But tiro bhutah, it has become obscured, or it has been lost. It is forgotten. Tiro bhutah, it has vanished. It is forgotten. Though it is our true nature, swatma dharma, it is our true nature. But even though it is the case, even then we have forgotten this. What have we forgotten? We have forgotten this true nature. So, moksha kriyaya atmani samskriyamane abhivyajyate. If one were to say that, you see, Atman or moksha or Brahman is of course our true nature, but it has become hidden now. It has become hidden. Tiro bhuta. And that's why it has to be by action of purification. It has to be abhivyajyate. It has to be manifested. So it has hidden now. It is our true nature, but for somehow it has got hidden. And now we have to manifest it. That is this moksha or Brahman we have to manifest through purification. If we were to argue like that, what is the example? Yatha, just like Adarshe, in a mirror, Nigarshana kriyaya samskriyamane. Nigarshana kriyaya, by rubbing it, making it shiny. The kriya of Nigarshana means rubbing and making it shining. Through the process of rubbing and making it shining, a mirror is purified, samskriyamane. Upon being purified, bhaswaratvam dharmaha, it regains its property of shining. It regains its property of shining by rubbing it. So when a mirror has not been used or has lying down for a long time and has lost its property of shine, then it is rubbed, and that property of shining is regained by samskriyamana, by rubbing, and by purification, by rubbing. Iti chet, if one were to argue like that, just like a mirror which has one's true nature as shining, loses that property because of some reason, and one rubs that mirror and regains that property. Similarly, though moksha is our true nature, but we have lost it, or we have, that true nature has got hidden, it has become obscure. So through action, we try to bring that back, try to abhivyajyate, we try to purify it and bring it back. If such an argument were posed, then no, that is not acceptable, or that is not logical. Why? Kriya ashrayatva anupapattehe atmanah. Atmanah kriya ashrayatva anupapattehe. It is illogical. It does not hold to reason, does not stand to reason. It is not rational. What is not rational? Kriya ashrayatva. Dependence on action. Atmanah. The dependence of Atman on action is not logical. It is not plausible. It is not logical. It is not, it does not support logic, reason. Because Atman cannot be Ashraya. So here Ashraya means location. It cannot be the location for any action. In Atman, no action can take place. That is why it is Anupapatte. It is illogical. It does not stand to reason that in Atman, action can take place. What is the example we were given? We were given the example of mirror. So in the mirror has rubbed and the shining comes out. That is what example we were given. Mirror is rubbed and the shining comes out. So here in Atman, that kind of an action cannot take place. Why? Why cannot it take place? Yadashraya kriyatam avikurvati naiva atmanam labhate. So why? Because yadashraya kriyatam avikurvati. When you, what is yat ashraya? That which is the location. Location, kriya of action, tam avikurvati na eva atmanam labhate. So action, an action, it does not end without avikurvati ashraya. Ashraya means location. Without avikurvati, without vikurvati. Vikurvati means modifying. Modifying location. So here avikurvati means without modifying location. So there is no action, na eva. There is no action which does not produce, which produces a result without modifying its location. So wherever that action is, for example, we saw that curd. So curd, it modifies milk. Or if you say ghata, ghata also, clay is modified into ghata. So wherever that action takes place, the location of action is modified. That is how something is produced. So in purification also, that location of that action is modified. But such a thing cannot happen with Atmanam. Such a thing cannot happen with self, because then it will become absurd. Self will become modified. How can self be modified? Atma cannot be modified. So, yadi Atma swa ashraya kriyaya vikriyeta anityatvam atmanah prasajyata. Yadi, if Atma, Atman, swa ashraya kriyaya vikriyeta. If Atman had to be modified, kriyaya vikriyeta, if it had to be modified by an act. Now obviously this act, where will it be located? In Atman, because Atman is everywhere. So swa ashraya vikriyeta. So that Atman, and also not only Atman is everywhere, previously that logic was given, whenever an action takes place, in that place there is some modification. Just like in the example of mirror also, action of rubbing takes place on the mirror surface and there is a modification. The lost shine or luster comes out. So wherever an action takes place, that location, there is some modification. So here, if Atman is the location of an action, locus of an action, and there is some modification in Atman, then Atmanah anityatvam prasajyata. Then we would have to accept. We would have to accept the, or this kind of a consequence will happen. this consequence will happen. What kind of consequence? Of anityatva of Atman, of the temporariness of Atman. That kind of a consequence will happen. Temporariness, Atman will become temporary. It is being modified. It will become temporary. And so in Bhagavad Gita, it is quoting, Avikaryoyam uchyate. So Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 25th shloka, Avikaryoyam uchyate. Ayam uchyate, ayam avikaryaha uchyate. That means this Atman is called beyond modification, or that it cannot be modified. It cannot be unchanging. It cannot be modified. Iti cha evam adini vakyani badhyeran. Also, this goes against badhyeran. This goes against or contradicts. This contradicts what? The vakya or sentences like this quoted from the Bhagavad Gita, that it is immutable or it cannot change, unchangeable. It cannot be modified. Tacha anishtam, that would be undesirable. What is undesirable? That we contradict statements of the Bhagavad Gita, or that an Atman becomes temporary. Atman becomes temporary or impermanent. That would be anishtam, that we don't want, because that is the only thing which is permanent. So we don't want to make it impermanent or unreal. Tasmat, therefore, na swashraya kriya atmanah sambhavati. So atmanah, therefore, as far as Atma is concerned, as far as the self is concerned, na swashraya kriya sambhavati. There cannot be any action which is having Atman as its locus. There cannot be any action which is having Atma as its locus. Anya ashrayaya tu kriyayaha avishayatvat na taya atma samskriyate. Also, anya ashrayayaha, in some other location, kriyayaha avishayatvat. If some action takes place in some other location other than Atman, then of that action, Atma is not an object. Because we have seen, if any action takes place, wherever that action takes place, there is a modification. So if action takes place in a place other than Atma, then what happens? Atma does not continue. Atma is no more the Vishaya or subject of that action, because it is taking place in some other place, some other location. Na taya atma samskriyate. And so through that action, that kriya, Atma cannot be purified, because it is happening, that action is happening elsewhere. It is happening in a location other than the Atman. So there, that action cannot be the cause of purifying Atman. Now, objection is posited. Here, it is said, the objection is like this. Obviously, this objection is from the Mimamsaka group, Mimamsa philosopher. The objection is like this. Nanu, nanu means but. Here we can say but. Nanu deha ashrayaya snana achamana yajñopavita dharanadikaya kriyaya dehi samskriya mano drishtaha. Oh, so, okay, we have one thing to say. What is it? Deha ashrayaya, having the ashraya or location as the body. So with body as the location, snana, achamana, yajna, upavita, yajnopavita, dharanadi, kaya. So through kriyaya, through the acts like snana, bathing, then achamana means while one does worship rituals, etc., one just takes some water like this, sips water by the hand. That is called achamana. So that's a ritualistic sipping of water. So achamana or yajnopavita dharana. Yajnopavita, we know it's called upanayana, where yajnopavita dharana, that means the thread, sacred thread is worn. Through all these kriyaya, all these actions, dehi means the self, the embodied self. That is the literal meaning. Samskriyamanaha drishtaha. So it is seen that the self which is in a body is purified. It is seen or it is observed. Drishta, it is observed that a body, dehi, self which is identified with the body, is samskriyamanaha, is purified. When it is purified, snana, achamana, yajnopavita, dharanadikaya, by bathing, by sipping of water, by wearing of sacred thread, etc. By through all these actions like this, we see that self is purified. Self is purified. Because body is the locus, deha ashraya, like that, there is this objection. For that, Shankaracharya says, no, it is not the case. You're wrong. Self is not purified there. Deha adi samhatasyaiva avidya parigrihitasya atmanah samskriya manatvat. So that, you see, that self is not the true self. That self is a self which is dehadi samhatasyaiva. Indeed, it is a self which is samhata, which is associated or which is bound with dehadi, body and so on. That means body, prana, mind, buddhi, ananda, etc. So that which has caught itself with, that which has confused itself with, that which has associated itself with samhata. And also avidya parigrihita, that which is caught by, parigrihita, seized by, avidya, ajnana, maya, adhyasa, that which is covered or influenced by avidya, ajnana, maya, adhyasa. Atmanah samskriyamanatvat. That Atman, dehadi samhata, which is associated with body and so on, and which is seized by avidya, ajnana, maya, adhyasa, that Atman, that self, samskriyamanatvat. It is because you see the self which you say is being purified is the self which is associated, attached to a particular body, mind, prana, buddhi and anandamaya kosha. And also that self is that which is caught in the snares of avidya. So that is what you see to be purified, samskriyamanatvat. Pratyaksham hi snana achamanadehe deha samavayitvam. Of course, it is pratyaksha, it is quite clear. It is quite clear that all the activities like snana, achamanadehe, you said like bathing and all this, achamana, etc. In all this, deha samavayitvam. There is a samavayitva, there is an association of the body. Everything is associated with the body. There is an association of the body. So we do see that there is, everything is associated with the body. We do see such actions are associated with the body. It is quite clear. Taya deha ashrayaya tat samhata eva kaschid avidyaya atmatvena parigrihitah samskriyate iti yuktam. It is only rational. It is only reasonable to conclude that all these actions which we see, they are the actions associated with body. Okay. Taya deha ashrayaya, having the location as the body. Tat samhata eva kashchit, someone who is connected with that body. So because the location of these actions is in the body, so definitely someone connected with that body, avidyaya atmatvena parigrihitah samskriyate. That person or that whoever is connected, that kashchit, something or someone which is connected with the body, that person or that something which is associated with this body is because of avidya, atmanah parigrihita, is wrongly understood to be the Atman because of avidya. So misreading, wrongly reading. Instead of rope, you see snake because of darkness. Instead of Brahman, you see body because of ignorance. So that is a misreading of things, wrongly understanding. So definitely we understand all these things are done by a body, and there is something or someone who is because of avidya, because of ajnana, because of adhyasa maya, seeing this to be purified, seeing this to be Atman, and seeing that this is samskriyate, this is Atman is being purified. So Atman is not being purified. The body is being purified, if at all. But because of ajnana, this is what is thought, iti yuktam. Such kind of a standpoint would be quite reasonable. Tatha yatha deha ashraya chikitsa nimittena dhatu samyena tat samhatasya tad abhimaninah arogya phalam aham arogah iti yatra buddhihi utpadyate. Yatha, just like deha ashraya chikitsa nimittena, a person who deha ashraya chikitsa nimittena, a person who is dhatu samyena, attains the samya. Samya means equilibrium. Equilibrium of dhatu. Dhatu means there are three kinds of dhatu in Ayurveda. Three kinds of kapha, vada, pitta. Kapha, vada, pitta, vata, pitta. So these three should be in balance, equilibrium. If they are not in equilibrium, then we will fall ill. Kapha, vata, pitta. So because of deha ashraya chikitsa nimittena, because of the chikitsa treatment that has happened in the location of body, dhatu samyena, and because of that treatment, this equilibrium of the three, in English it is translated, again English translations, the less said the better. English it is translated as humor. No, humor me, I don't know why humor here. Anyway, so three humors are this vata, pitta and kapha. So these three dhatus, tat samhatasya tad abhimaninah, people who have associated with it. So one is not the body, Atman is not the body, but having associated oneself with the body, a treatment that happens in the location or the locus of the body, a person thinks that the equilibrium of vata, pitta, kapha brought about by this treatment, a person who is associated with the body, attached to the body, tad abhimaninah, also thinks that the body associates oneself with the body, or thinks that that person is the body. Arogya phalam, gets the result of health. arogya phalam. Aham arogah, and says I am healthy. I am free from. Arogah means I am free from illness. Iti yatra buddhihi utpadyate. And in that place, that is the place of, in that place means what? In that place where one is associated with the body and one thinks one is the body, in that place which is caused by avidya, which is caused by avidya, that place or in that level, a person thinks that I am aham arogah, I have become free from disease. I am now free from disease. Like that, at that level one thinks. Similarly, similarly, snana achamana yajna upavita dharana adhikaya kriyeya, through the actions like bathing, achamana, and wearing of the sacred thread, aham shuddha samskritah, I am pure and I have purified. I am purified. Iti yatra buddhi utpadyate. Like this notion, buddhi, notion, or this idea, yatra utpadyate, where it arises, saha samskriyate. That person is purified. So where it is arising, sacha dehena samhata eva, it is indeed arising in a place which is associated with the body. So that means one associates one's true nature with the body because of ignorance. And it is there that this thing is arising. That is there that this idea is arising. Tenaiva hi aham kartra aham pratyaya vishayena pratyayina sarvaha kriya nirvartyante. Nirvartyante. Tenaiva hi. That means that person, only by that person who is dehena samhata, is associated with the body, indeed by that person, aham kartra, aham pratyaya vishayena pratyayina sarvaha kriya nirvartyante. That person nirvartyante performs or executes sarvaha kriyaha, all actions by pratyayina, by this notion, by this idea. What idea? Aham kartra, aham pratyaya vishayena. That aham pratyaya vishayena, the object of the idea of I. The object of the idea of I, aham kartra. And having the idea that I am the doer. So, kartritva, I am the doer. So, a person who associates oneself with the body, it is that person who gets the idea I am the doer. And it is that person who, with this idea of I, or the object of the idea of I, all actions this person performs. That is what is told here. So, purification does not happen at the level of Atman. It cannot happen. And if at all you see people taking bath and getting purified, if they are purifying themselves, that is happening only at the level of that Atman, or that particular whatever entity, not Atman, which has got mistaken, or which has mistaken itself with the body. That is the idea here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.